everyone, and welcome back to the weird part of YouTube, aka my channel, and welcome back. Here is part 2 of Trichy video travel vlog, and check out part 1 where I get to the city right here in the top hand corner, as well as in the description right below. So yeah, here's Trichy. This particular place is the Burma Bazaar, where literally it's like a mini Amazon where you get everything from jewelry to dresses to like cotton candy to like big retail shops to like small street vendors, everything selling anything. And it's like a mini Amazon because it's like 1/8 of the price and you get like the best customer experience. But anyways, before I started to actually go shopping, I wanted to do something fun, which was actually hiking to the heart of Trichy, which is Rockfort. Rockfort is actually 83 meters long on a top of the mountain. It's also called as Mallaikotai in Tamil. It's about 83 meters long and it was built in 580 AD. So you can pretty imagine that how old the whole structure is. And it's home to one of those two famous temples in Tamil Nadu. And essentially, it carries the whole essence of Trichy. And it's a very, very prominent landmark. And there's literally no greenery on this whole landmark. It's just rocks, 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 rocks. And it's actually one of the archaeologist center as well, where they actually do research for this particular landmark. And as you keep going hiking, it took me about 20 minutes to hike the whole thing. You realize that the steeper you go, there are no stairs left, and it's just essentially a mini rock climbing course. Like big enough course, of course, it's not that difficult. But once you get there, the views out here are amazing. You can literally see the whole city. Right here is the river Kaveri, which is all dried up. Thanks global warming, thanks climate change, I guess. And essentially, when it's like more towards spring, the river actually flows, and obviously more rainfall, I guess. And from here you can essentially see the whole city, the color, the eagles as well, hounding for like more squirrels and all those prey. It's prey, I guess, but it's just essentially showing off at this moment. But it's a very, very, very beautiful top view out here. It, like, I can't explain in words how beautiful it is. And it's also really, really nice out here because right down below it gets very hot, and out here it's like really nice. It looks really beautiful. I've been to a lot of other places like Eiffel Tower, One World Center in New York, but I don't know, for some reason this place, because of its whole rocks and the structure and how it's all centered, it's very, very nice. From here you can pretty much see the entire city, as obviously because it's the top view, and it's also home to one of those two famous temples. And you can just essentially go over here and just see how ancient the whole structure is. The other thing about it is that it's about 400 stairs to actually climb the whole thing, and from here it's just colors and everything. And it's essentially, you don't really need to pay anything to get here. It's entirely free. I know some of the places like national parks out here, you have to essentially pay money. You don't really need to pay anything, and you can just just come here. Because it's home to the temples, in India you can't really wear footwear, so you gotta leave your footwear outside and actually climb the whole thing. So yeah, you actually hike barefoot, and when it's like summer or when it's essentially a very hot day, the whole rock area gets very hot as well, so you gotta climb really fast, and you can pretty much imagine how challenging it can be. The other part about Trichy which I really liked is its people. Like, they were really, really nice. When I went to Chennai, you see a contrasting difference between Chennai and Trichy. Stuff over here in Trichy is also cheaper than Chennai because Chennai is a bigger city, it's a more metropolitan, and people here are very, very nice. And I really, really like the city, and it's very, very small, it's very quaint. And this is one part of Trichy which is like, it's like home to all these bazaars where you get a lot of stuff, and entire retail chains and stuff like that. There's other part of Trichy which is very, very quaint. It's very small, and you have all these small lanes essentially where people actually get there. And once I finished hiking out here, I realized that I actually climbed an entire rock out here, and it was amazing. Like, if you can just see how insignificant I am when compared to this huge, gigantic rock, it's amazing and also mind blowing. I would definitely recommend coming to this place and, just checking it out for yourself. So here is another big retail store in Trichy, which is called Sarthas. And man, oh man, it's like super huge. Like, the last time I went to a store that big was in essentially like a hypermarket in Dubai. But man, this is like huge. But to give you a contrast of how retail chains operate versus how streets are, I definitely prefer the streets because it's got a more human interface, I guess. And here the prices are also very cheap, and the only downside for this is that you have to pay in cash. So I was hungry and I wanted to try something that's local called the Jigar Thanda. Essentially, what it is just an float. You have like the milk and it's just like floating ice cream. So it's essentially that. It's not very great, apparently. Apparently, I have to try it in another city called Madurai, and it's not local to Trichy, but I just wanted to try it anyway. And I just roamed around the Burma Bazaar, looking at the Rockfort view, and thinking, man, I did that. How amazing is that? So essentially, this whole bazaar, you get like everything. Like, when I say everything, I mean everything. And it's very, very cheap. There's jewelry, there's footwear, there's a lot of things. And I just want you to see how awesome and amazing that is. Like, for me to just see all these things out and about with so many people during the middle of a pandemic, it's just mind-blowing. And I was like, whoa, this is insane. So obviously everyone was wearing the mask, some people weren't, but I just wanted to see how real it is. And for me, coming from the US, when I saw this, it was just like I was shook to some extent, and also like very, very excited to see people around, because it was something very, very different, I guess. And I don't know why I was super excited for something so trivial. The other thing is that the mode of transportation in India is usually scooter or motorcycle, and seeing so many parked around was like, whoa, that's really, really, really nice. And it got me for a nice shot, I guess. The other thing is that the one thing that I really like about Trichy is the bus service, and it's like extremely frequent and extremely nice. So the other thing is that this is St. Joseph College. It's home to one of it was built in 1888 or something like that, and it's a really, really nice college, and famous alumni such as the former Indian president APJ Abdul Kalam was also here, and also my granddad went to that college. That's the only reason I'm telling you out here. But essentially, the whole structure and everything reminded me how old the whole college is. So this is the other part of Trichy which I wanted to show you. So one part is the Burma Bazaar, and somewhere in the center where it's like the roads are completely laid out very nicely. And then here's another part of Trichy where it's not, where it's just out there. But I'm not complaining, I'm just like trying to show you the different parts of the city. There's also places where the lanes are like super, super small, like this one, or out here where I don't think any cars can actually go in there, but I was just around the corner just to make sure to capture the shots. And some places where the cows and cattle and chickens and stuff roam freely, and I'm all about that because, as you know, I love cows. But yeah, it can be very scary essentially, because I don't want to touch it and then I don't want it to hurt me. But this is a different part of Trichy. So essentially, different pockets of the city offer something so unique, so nice. And it was all in all a really, really great experience. And to get here from Chennai, it's about 7 hours. Sometimes the super fast railways get to around 4 hours, 3.5 hours. So it depends on what the mode of transportation is. But yeah, essentially, this is like a half of my Cows in India video where I get to show you cattle, and this one looks like a Dalmatian. But essentially, the nightlife over here is pretty much non-existent because it's a small city, and people just go to bed around after 6 or 7 or 8 depending on where the pocket you are. If you are near the main road, it's a little like it's probably 9. So shops do close in early. So if you want to get something, you have to get in there sooner. But essentially this is what it is. So this shot is in the early morning. I wanted to go just capture how it is. So early morning, people are very busy opening up shops and delivering milk packets. So in India it's all milk packets. It's not in cartons. So, and people here, like, they put all the rangoli and around their houses, and you can see how like inactive it is, but also somewhat really active, because there's people starting their businesses, opening up shops and everything. So it does open fairly early in the morning, around 5ish, I would say. So yeah, this is how it is, and you can see different pockets, how it all interferes, I guess. So one thing that I really like about Trichy is, again, how everything is like connected, and I didn't find any issues with like the transportation, essentially, because the buses are very frequent. They keep coming out and about. The one thing that I did dislike is that there were like lots of street dogs that were running around, and that's kind of scary for me, essentially because I don't want to get bit. I mean, no one does, but that was one thing that was kind of scary, but I got over it quickly. But yeah, it is a beautiful, beautiful city. So in the morning, I was just preparing myself, and I wanted to show you what exactly happens in the morning. Essentially, a lot of these grocery outlets open up, and then they just start delivering milk. And as you can see, all these milks are in milk packets, and essentially that is what goes around in the early morning. Shops start opening up, and they start making coffee, tea. Coffee is essentially the mode of drink, like the official drink of Tamil Nadu, where they actually froth it, and it's like a macchiato, essentially. And all these cows and cattle, they start like they start waking up and ready for other farming or anything nearby. And as you can see, these are like really, really jiggly, and I really like them. It's like really stress buster when you actually touch a milk packet, and it's really nice. But I didn't want to do it because obviously the owner was standing nearby. And as and when the sun rises, you see all these shops opening up, selling fruits and vegetables, and it's really colorful, really nice. So yeah, that was Trichy for you guys. And as I'm preparing to leave the city, that's part 3 for you. So do like and subscribe this video, and do let me know which part was your favorite, what other cities you want me to cover, or write down in the comments below. I really, really love you guys. Till a later video, bye.